Welcome to another tarot vlog. In this first part, I'm gonna show you how I do and record my tarot readings. I got these really cute tarot stamps that I use to indicate that I am jotting down a tarot reading interpretation. I'm using my Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, which is one of my favorites for personal readings. And you can see me write down the interpretation. I try to keep it very brief because first of all, the notebook is kind of small, but also that really helps me to get the most important stuff out of the reading. And this is what it looks like when I finish 2 pages of tarot readings. It's time for another tarot vlog, and today I want to go over making time for yourself. Now, I am kind of in a unique position because I am at home basically full time right now because I'm still on sick leave, unemployed sick leave, which means that I basically can't work right now because of my burnout. So it might be a little strange to think, but why do you need to make time for yourself when you got the entire day off? And well, I get caught up in, first of all, working on this YouTube channel, which is why right now I am only posting 1 video a week for the foreseeable future, because I want to better the quality of my content and not necessarily up the quantity. But also I have been in this slump where I just sit in front of my computer, I watch a whole lot of YouTube about anything, and I don't really get to do much for myself. And there are a couple of ways that I want to combat that. First is to do more tarot readings for myself. So I purchased this little notebook from Sterling Ink. I have it in a plastic cover and I have this little envelope inside. But basically it's this leatherette kind of feel. It's A6 size, and this is going to be my new book of shadows. And if you are familiar with my channel, you'll know that I have 2 videos where I talked and showed my book of shadows. One of them I recycled because I was trying really hard to have like the Tumblr and Pinterest aesthetic in my book of shadows, and kind of the same thing happened in my second one. I wanted it to be more of a grimoire, but it didn't really end up being that. I still have it right here. I filmed a video over the summer where I did a couple of spreads in this grimoire. I have my Hello morning coffee spell, and mostly it's just a lot of information about paganism because I was very much interested in paganism and thinking that I sort of had to hold on to or grasp for a religion of some sort, or like an organized form of practice. And I've since walked away from that because I just don't think that that is something that I want for my practice. I definitely love structure, but I don't think like choosing a religion or following a religion right now is necessarily for me. And then I also had this little Moleskine pocket notebook, sketchbook, in which I wanted to write down like my birth charts. I have information on moon phases, ways to do magic, how to script like manifest. I have some information about the Sabbaths, and I did a whole spread of soul because I was very interested in working with pagan deities. And this was the first time that I actually did that. And I really did feel something, and it was very comforting, and it very much felt like I was communicating with a deity. So it was really interesting that that happened. Little do. And as a book of shadows or a grimoire, because what I noticed that I really gravitate towards is something that is very loose and that I can just work in super quickly. Whenever I want to do a tarot reading, I want to record it in here. I have these adorable little stamps that I got from Etsy, and I'm gonna use them in sort of a commonplace way, where with commonplace you do use colored dots, but I will use these stamps. So I have a tarot card stamp that I want to use whenever I do a tarot reading. So I will just plop down the stamp and then write down my interpretation, the date, what kind of reading I'm doing, the cards that I pulled, all of that. But I also want to write down just some magical thoughts, manifestations, any spells or crafts that I want to try or that I have tried, and I can actually write down how it went. So this is more of a magical journal, I guess, than really a book of shadows or a grimoire. But I think Book of Shadows and magical notebook are kind of the same thing. And if you know anything about me, you know that I have a shit ton of hobbies. Like, I love reading the tarot. I haven't been doing it as often because I haven't been really feeling well, but I also love to write. I've been picking up writing. I am very interested in writing and publishing my own book, my own stories. That's a goal that I've had ever since I was 8 years old. So I figured it's about time that I do something about that. I've also been able to pick up reading again, which is so incredible, and I have purchased quite a few books. I went to Amsterdam last week and we visited a few bookshops and I purchased quite a couple of books. And I'm really interested in reading more romance novels because I feel like fantasy are almost all series and I don't really feel like committing to a full series yet. But the romance books are very fun and I'm very interested in writing a romance novel myself. But then I've also been kind of neglecting painting and drawing. That is something that I'm very bad at, but that I want to learn to do better because I just really enjoy the process of like mixing paints and putting them together on the page, even if it's abstract and it doesn't look like anything. I haven't been doing a lot of crocheting and sewing either. So yeah, it's about time that I make some time for myself, and I very much encourage you to do the same thing. And actually I wanted to pull some cards for that today. I have my Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle, which is definitely getting past that time. We've already passed Samhain as well, and we're very much on our way to Yule. But this has the autumn vibes, the cozy, warm autumn vibes that I'm very much craving right now. So when it comes to making time for ourselves, what I want from this deck is a card of a theme, some overseeing theme that we can use as a lens to look at the topic of making time for ourselves, whether that is advice or a way of looking at things, a mindset maybe to shift towards. So we have Crow. Pay close attention to the winds. There's a message making its way. To me, this very much talks about getting in touch with your intuition, feeling and listening to, it says here, the winds, but I think that's like just the energy around you. I am thinking of the little phrase winds of change. So any changes that are happening around you, whether it is in nature that we see a lot of things happening in nature right now. Everything is cooling off, everything is calming down, at least here in the northern hemisphere. And I think there is a message in there when nature is cooling down, animals are going into hibernation, and maybe we need to allow ourselves to calm down as well. I'm quite new with working with this deck still, so I'm gonna see if the guidebook has something to add. Something is coming, messages, pay attention. Those are the keywords. Keep an eye out for important signs and clues of what's to come. Nothing truly manifests without some warning. The signs might be subtle, but they have been prompting you your entire life. Whether it is a tingle in your neck or perhaps a decision that gives you a sense of dread. And pulling this card is a sign to trust in your intuition, like I said, especially in the coming days. You may be quick to dismiss your feelings as being silly, and perhaps they are in many societies. However, you're connected to the spirit realm where all things are possible, and the only right answer is the one that gives you a feeling of peace, joy, and success. Trust in your ability to read those messages. I think that is really, really powerful. So it definitely feels like changes are coming, whether that is in setting things down, settling a little bit, or maybe there are some things in your life specifically that are changing. For me, I am connecting this to our elections. Today is November 23rd. And it's one day after election day, and the election results have come out, and it's bad. The political party that has won the election is pretty much an extreme right-wing party. And we've been seeing this in Europe. I've talked about this in my political tarot readings before, but it's really scary, and now I see it happening in my own country. I mean, we've been seeing the shift for a while, but people haven't really been voting for it. And I think right now there's something in the air that is making people feel emboldened to vote intolerantly, hatefully. And I hate it. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So what I want to do now, I have grabbed my Sasturai Beto Tarot. This is also one of my Yule decks, or decks for the Yule season, which if you want to see that video, I'll have it linked down below. And I just want a little bit of what can we expect moving forward. You know, the Crow card said to listen to our intuition. Change is coming. And I want to know what can we sort of expect. So we have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is boredom, dissatisfaction. Like I said, I am personally very dissatisfied with the political climate in my country right now, and it's very upsetting. I am very much feeling the Four of Cups. Maybe I'm even feeling a little Five of Cupsy, but for now, yeah, discontent is one way to put it. And I think this also encourages us, like, what we can do is we can turn our heads and we can think like, yeah, something is happening that I'm not really excited about, that I'm not happy about. But we can also look at it as, oh shit, there's something going on that I'm very unsatisfied with, something that is getting me in my feels that I am discontent with. So maybe I should do something about that. So I like to look at action. I like to look at solutions over problems. I think it's important to understand the problems, but I think it's more important and more productive to look at solutions. So solution here, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And I think this makes sense. It's not necessarily fun because the Knight of Pentacles for me is a card of slow and steady wins your race. Putting in a lot of hard work. And I think that in Europe in general, but also in the Netherlands, when these extreme right-wing, and if they are implemented, then we're gonna see how much of a shit show it actually is gonna lead towards. Because I don't think that these extreme right-wing views, and I will talk about it more in my podcast that should already be out by the time this video goes live, if you want to learn a little bit more about Dutch politics and right-wing extremism in Europe in general. I think that it's not a good idea, and I think that we're gonna see some of these things implemented and we're gonna see it all crash and fucking burn. That is truly what I believe. So, and this is specifically to me for the Dutch elections, but we can see this in anything that we're dissatisfied with in our lives, anything that we're not happy with, that we're discontent with. It's only a matter of time before things turn around, but it does require you to take action. It does require you to, unfortunately, be patient, to keep speaking up, preferably, especially when we talk about something like politics, when we talk about something like the war in Gaza that is going on right now. I am filming this when I think it's the second day of the ceasefire today. I've been very preoccupied with Dutch politics news yesterday, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. But we're all very dissatisfied, and some people are starting to look away because we're all getting this fatigue because it's been a month and a half of constant messaging about everything that's going on in Gaza, and it's very dissatisfying to say the least. That is an understatement. And it can cause us to sort of look away, but instead we should persevere, because the people bombing Gaza are going to persevere. They're not going to look away. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. So anyone who is protesting, anyone who is speaking out, who is sharing information, who is sharing footage of what is going on there, you are so much encouraged to keep fighting the good fight and to be on the right side of history and to keep being there and to not look away. No matter how hard it is, that is the only way that we're going to be able to see change. And we will see signs of change happening. Some things will change over the long haul, and some will be more short-term changes that we're going to see. And again, this can be anything. This can be political. For me, that is weighing very heavy right now in my own mind, in my own heart. But it can be anything. It can be in your career. It can be in your love life. So I hope this message resonated. I just felt like it was one that I really needed to pull and really needed to share. It's a bit of a weird video, this, but I hope you enjoy. Not every tarot vlog is going to be the same. I want to experiment a little bit with this, but definitely want to do one a month if you are interested in them. If you enjoyed my way of interpreting the tarot, then I do have a free tarot quick start guide for you. You can download it with the link in the description. It has everything you need to do an accurate tarot reading, hopefully confidently. That is what I sort of strive for here on this channel. But yeah, you can pick that up for free. Click the video on the screen to watch my Yule season decks. We'll have a little bit of a lighter chat over there. Subscribe if you want to see more tarot chats and deck reviews. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.